All right, Henry Gullens. You want to tell us what you did?
So I made day 2 at YCS Houston, going 8-3 final record for the event. Was not able to make top cut. However, I did really well. And after my feature match in round 9, I had a good amount of people asking me to share my deck list, and so I decided to do a deck profile on it today.
So what'd you play today?
I played Primite Blue Eyes. A couple people were calling it Branded Blue Eyes due to a tech that I have within the list. However, there's one card in the main deck that is a branded card, and it's not even really a branded card. And so it's Primite Blue Eyes. It's not Branded Blue Eyes.
That's what's up. Let's see it.
So to start off, I played the 2 Blue Eyes White Dragon. You got to play 2 right now because Bestials are everywhere. Also, having 2 helps you a lot with certain cards like Majesty. 3 Maiden, 3 Sage. These, you got to play them at 3. I thought about playing 2 Maiden for a little bit just for the sake of hand quality, but I ended up deciding that the consistency of having another Maiden was so important. The 1 Mausoleum, because it's searchable off of the Spirit. I played 3 Wishes. For a long period of time in my theory for pure Blue Eyes, I was only playing 2 Wishes, but playing the Primite stuff, I figured that 3 Wishes was probably the right way to go. I'm not 100% sure if this is correct though. I played the 1 Roar in order to recur Blue Eyes back from getting Bestialed. I played the Ultimate Fusion. This is here for its ability to use as an interruption, but also its ability to recycle resources. I am looking to end up in very long grind games with this deck list, and Ultimate Fusion helps out with that so much, and it also helps out with a play that you're going to see when I show off some of my main tech choice of this deck list.
Awesome.
I have the 1 True Light and the 1 Majesty because both I feel are mandatory. Well, obviously True Light's mandatory, but I feel Majesty's mandatory. I was being asked why I played both Ultimate Fusion and Majesty because technically they do the same thing and both being Disruption, but they both serve entirely different purposes in this deck list, and I can assure you that playing both is necessary.
All right, awesome.
Next up, I have my Primite engine of 3 Ether Barrel, 3 Lordly Load, and 1 Drill Beam. I was thinking about playing multiple Drill Beam. I ended up not doing so. This card is excellent as a board breaker. Opening this card alongside like Ether or Load feels incredible because you can use it going second as a board breaker. However, I ended up only playing the 1 because I felt like I didn't have enough time to properly test it, as I only really had 2 days to test with the Primite cards before the event. And so because of that, I just chose to play the 1 just to be safe. After that, we have our main tech choice, which is the 1 Fallen of Albaz. This card did everything this weekend. My extra deck is built around this Albaz. The purpose of the Ultimate Fusion is actually so that I can shuffle Albaz back into the deck and then summon it a second time off of Hieratic Spheres to fuse my opponent's board away twice in a game. It happened so many times this weekend in so many grind games, and like this card just won games. It was incredible for me. On my feature match, I summoned Albaz, fused with my opponent's Lurie, and locked my opponent out of the game, and they just scooped on the spot, like on feature. After that, we have our staple lineup of 3 Ash, 2 Ogre, 2 Veiler, 3 Nib, 3 Droll, 2 Tactics, and 3 Imperm. The ratios of the 2 ofs are for hand quality reasons. I think that Veiler at 3 is too redundant in this deck. And well, yes, it's a spellcaster for Sage that I can normal summon. Droll is also that, and so having the Veiler at 2 doesn't matter nearly as much towards your count of spellcasters because you play Droll in the main.
Sounds pretty reasonable.
After that, we have our extra deck, where we played 2 copies of Spirit Dragon, 1 copy of Ultimate Spirit, 1 copy of Lightstorm Dragon, and a card that a lot of people are cutting at the moment that I decided to still play, which is Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. The reason for the ratios of having 3 spirit targets while only having 2 spirit is because most of the time I find myself not summoning Lightstorm off of Spirit. Rather, I'm hard making Lightstorm because I'm mostly using it as backer removal and I don't really care. It's additional. But it's not that important the way that I'm playing because once I set up Ultimate Fusion, I'm playing Tyrant Control at that point. And so Tyrant is doing what Lightstorm would be doing. And so it's not really making a difference if I summon it off the Spirit or make it just straight up synchro into it. But the reason I still play the Moonlight is because in the TCG right now, it is ruled that when Triple Tactics Talents is activated and you in response summon something and then the thing that you summoned gets taken, it is currently being ruled that the player who summoned gets to be the one to activate the effect. And so I was just, if I ever got talents with Spirit up, I would just go, okay, Moonlight, and then Moonlight bounce itself. However, also, it came nice to have a burner synchro in my extra deck that I could let my opponent take, and then summon the Fall into Albaz and we're confused with that synchro. Next up for my links, I played 2 copies of Spirit. That's all you really need in the grind game, especially when you play Ultimate Fusion. You don't need to play the 3rd copy because you can just put it back if the 3rd copy ever doesn't come up. But then also I played 2 copies of Pyretic Spears. Most people only play this card at 1, but I played it at 2 again because of the Ultimate Fusion. The Malice matchup, they really struggle with the Spears on their normal summon, and then usually drill beam on like the field spell is like game over for them. But like by playing multiple Spears, I have an incredible grind game into Malice, and I have the ability to go into Albaz twice in a game, like I mentioned before. And so having that second use of Albaz, like I said, won so many games. After that, I only played 1 Seas Monster, and that's Typhon Sky Crisis. This one is incredible. You know. I do play Ultimate Slayer in the side. There was a lot of argument between whether I should be on Typhon or Aggregator. I was struggling to pick between the 2. I ended up deciding to play Typhon just because it had more utility than Aggregator. After that, we play 1 Tyrant Dragon and 1 Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Mandatory engine pieces. You can't really play this deck without them. Anyone who does is just wrong. And then finally, it's the branded package with 1 Albion the Branded Dragon, 1 Albion the Sanctifier Dragon, and 1 Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade's only here to be the 2nd resolution of Albaz. It's its only purpose within the list. You're not really looking to use its effect to banish things. However, sometimes you do, and it's nice. You know, like game 1 against Malice, you go, okay, summon Albaz, make Mirror Jade, and now you have an additional disruption. And then finally, for our side deck, we chose to play 3 copies of Lancia, 3 copies of Ultimate Slayer. They're just the mandatory cards in the format. Ultimate Slayer could be a Seas Encore. My testing group was trying to get me to play Seas Encore. I ended up deciding against it. I felt that Seas Encore. My deck struggles to get rid of large amounts of bodies, and so Seas Encore was only going to punish me if I chose to play it. And so I just played Ultimate Slayer instead. Then I played 3 copies of Strike. A lot of people are cutting down on Strike right now, and that's the exact reason that I decided to play it. People cutting down on Strike meant there's less backer removal in the format. Less backer removal means back row like Strike becomes better, and so I chose to play Strike because that's how the meta was shifting. Next I played 3 Chaos Hunter for the Malice matchup once more. It's getting a lot worse into Malice because they started playing Nightmare Cerberus, they started playing Queensmith Engraver, you know, Desiree. They have these ways to out Chaos Hunter now. However, I felt in the end I wasn't happy playing Chaos Hunter, but I felt I had to because the Malice matchup for this deck is so difficult that I had to design my combos around it. I had to design my side deck around it. I had to account everything for the Malice matchup that I possibly could because the matchup is just that bad. And then after that, I played 3 DD Pro. This is the questionable card that I received multiple questions when I activated it, when people saw my list, etc. The reason I play BD Pro is because your Mermail matchup is not amazing. It's not bad, but it's definitely not great. If you go first, you usually can lock up Mermail pretty well. However, this list struggles more at doing that because we're more centered around ending on Spears game one. And so because we're trying to end on Spears game one, we can't always get to Spirit Dragon. And so because we're not always getting Spirit Dragon game one, we're having a harder time with the Mermail. And so my way to account for that is being able to play DD Pro in order to make their effects not be able to activate when pitched for cost. But also this punishes the Memento matchup because once they use Aki Huron, if you banish their combined creation, their end board becomes sort of dead in the water where they lose a lot of the interruption that they had on it, and it becomes enough interruption that your engine can usually play through it just by drawing one pro and no other hand traps. So overall, like changes I've made to the list, I can't really think of any off the top of my head right now. I am very tired from playing out yesterday and today. I played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'll probably have more clearance on that over the next coming days if I do decide to continue testing this deck. But I was very happy with how this performed. I was very happy with how I performed as a player, and overall I felt this event was excellent.
Nice. Got any shout outs for the end of it?
Yes. Big shout out to Jack for letting me borrow his primate core for this, as well as bringing me into this Airbnb with everyone else. Much appreciated for that. I was originally going to sleep outside for this event.
Which is so wild.
Yeah, but, you know, I do stupid things for this game. Shout out to the Association of Gentlemen for helping me test. Shout out to the Crab Shack, just for kind of being there, hanging out, you know, love being around them. And also shout out to the players who helped get me into this game and also are the reason that I am who I am today, which is the old Game King crew. You know, I miss y'all, and hopefully I'll be back.
Awesome.